Oh, wonderful. So wonderful, in fact, that I have to drive him there every morning now just to make sure he goes. Here's your look at the NECA Toys Lootcrate exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Danny Pennington. Now you can catch America's favorite green teens in their first live-action blockbuster film. After waiting in a puddle of radioactive waste, these radical reptiles are transformed into New York City's greatest crime-fighting quartet. Their biggest foes are the Foot Clan, who recruit lost kids like young Danny off the street to join their nefarious gang. This highly detailed action figure stands almost 6 inches tall and features over 20 points of articulation, includes alternate head and cassette player accessory. Just before we get a closer look at Danny Pennington, let's bring in some of the other NECA Tmnt movie figures for some size comparisons. Danny is going to be a pretty small figure, but how does he stack up with some of the others? Let's look at that right now. Bringing in first unmasked Casey Jones. Danny comes up to about his sleeve, give or take. We can also bring in Splinter, which I guess Splinter would be notably a smaller character than Danny. We can also bring in, let's move over Casey Jones a little bit, bring in a regular foot soldier. And maybe we'll also move over Splinter just a little bit and bring in the very scary-looking Shredder. Here we go. Yeah, Danny's pretty small. He's still going to be taller than Splinter, but of course he's going to be notably smaller than, say, the likes of Shredder, the likes of the Foot Soldier, or the likes of Casey Jones, all of which we've already had a look at on the channel. He really doesn't come with much in the way of accessories, just a swappable head sculpt and his Walkman. One little additional touch I would have liked to see for an accessory. This is like a little box of eaten Burger King. I think that's one thing that they're eating at the beginning of the movie where they're going through the things that they've looted. Just an unnamed box with a few little straggling fries inside. I think would have been a nice touch as well. But the figure does come included with a Walkman. I think it's the same Walkman that came included with the Vader Marty McFly from the Back to the Future line. At least it certainly looks like that. It's all painted here, I'm guessing. Probably molded in black plastic, and then they've just gone in and painted on top of it. I don't know why, but it has this little lip of plastic. It doesn't seem to serve a purpose, not that I can see at least. I'm wondering if it came off the mold like that. You see that right there? It's just like a little lip of plastic. Strange to see that there. Anyways, though, they've printed the one side, so it almost looks like there's a tape contained inside the Walkman. If you flip it around to the other side, it's got up and down arrows. Then to the other side is his headphone. Now, the headphone is pretty soft in plastic, as well as the cord that attaches the two together. I guess you could technically fit it over top of his head, so let's grab the figure right now. You can put either the headphones over top of his head like this. And again, being that they're pretty soft plastic to start off with, yeah, you can get it around his head like this. And then I guess you could just hold this in his hand. I thought maybe like the lip of plastic would have served to kind of clip underneath his shirt. But I guess it really doesn't, because you could easily just take the headset, the Walkman, I keep calling it a headset. You take the Walkman and easily just tuck it underneath his shirt. So again, I don't think that lip of plastic serves any purpose whatsoever. Or again, you can also take the Walkman and easily fit into his hand as well. The thing you will just want to be careful of is that the cord is pretty soft plastic. And if you're not careful, you could easily break it. And you can display the figure like that if you wanted to. The other accessory he comes included with, let's just go ahead and remove this right now. Take the headphone off, put that to the side. The figure also comes included with a swappable head sculpt. Let's go ahead and pick that up right now. Just really more of a matter of preference than anything else. This one does have the notable Foot Clan bandana that he's wearing, whereas this one doesn't. You unfortunately may also see, too, a little bit of QC issues with the original stock head sculpt, as it looks like the eyes are wandering off the side of his face. Now, I don't suspect this is going to be for every single Danny that got released. Unfortunately, just this one does have the eyes that just are off from the eyeballs. That's a bit of a shame. But if you don't want to display him with this anyways, you can easily just pop the head sculpt off. I guess we can quickly just show you it from all the sides. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're too different from one another. The hair maybe is just a little rougher here on the one that has the bandana. You can see it from this side as well. I guess as well, you could also say, too, the one that has the bandana has the open mouth with some teeth showing inside, whereas this one has the closed mouth. I wish, unfortunately, like the paint wasn't so rough there on the eyes. But again, if you have picked up this figure for yourself, let me know down below if you've had any issues with the paint. Again, it's probably just on this one. To swap out the head sculpt, though, just hold on to the torso and just wiggle the head off the post. I'm glad to see, actually, that they didn't use a large ball joint. Instead, very narrow post. And again, just pop the new head sculpt on. Just wiggle that in place. I guess just by the virtue of this one having the rougher looking eye paint job, this is my favorite of two head sculpts. And I think it does bear a good striking resemblance to the actor that played Danny in the movie. I think they've done a pretty good job on. The paint's actually pretty good, except for the problem with the eyes there. But a good looking head sculpt though. Then for the rest of the figure, as we've already certainly looked at the head and talked about that. As for his outfit, it's really kind of interesting the way that they've been able to replicate the outfit that he has in the movie. I think Danny actually has several outfits, but this one is sort of the one that he's wearing when he's with the rest of the Foot Clan. It's a Sid Vicious T-Shirt. And interesting thing enough about the T-shirt is while you have him in the front here, I think there's actually a woman that's just off to the side on the shirt, but yet it's not here on the figure itself. You can look this up online, the Sid Vicious T-Shirt, shirt, and you kind of see what I'm talking about. There should be like a little woman, well, not so little, but there should be a woman off to the side. It's not actually there. You only just get the main Sid Vicious character right in the front there. But it's fairly accurate to the way it looks in the movie itself. Sort of on the side, it kind of has more of a tie-dye look to it. And it has the similar colors that he would have had in the movie as well. The shirt itself is fairly soft and plastic. And there is still like a joint system where you'd still be able to move the torso, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, it's just an overlay piece of plastic that's slightly softer. It's going over top of his existing body. I think they may have actually also used like the legs from John Connor, as this is also a similar sized figure to the John Connor that we got released before. He is wearing jeans. And yeah, you can see as well, he's got his runners on, his sneakers on. And the sneakers are also painted quite good too. Mostly black with a little bit of gray and the lighter white down below. And they've also even gone in there and painted the laces too. I really don't have any complaints. I'm actually really impressed that they went as elaborate as they did painting the shirt, because they could easily have just given you a rough idea of what the shirt could have looked like from the movie. But short of the fact that, yeah, again, I think there's a woman missing on the side of the shirt. It's pretty accurate to the way it looks in the film. Good job on NECA's part. Talking about Danny's articulation now, starting first with his head. Head rotates all the way around. We already saw how to change out the head, super easy, but it rotates all the way around. You can have the head looking down and looking up, and you can also rock the head back and forth as well. For his arms, you can bring the arms out. I find I can't get them out completely past a 45-degree angle bend. A lot of that may have to do with the way that they've sculpted the tops of the sleeves, even though they have left an opening there, where clearly this is a separate piece than the rest of his arms. I still can't quite get the arms to bend out, and nor do I really want to force them either. So I would probably just be willing to say that they go out at about a 45-degree angle. I mean, you still get the benefit of having the arms rotating all the way around, but bringing the arms out seems like there's something maybe either too tight on the joint, but I can't seem to get them past a 45-degree angle bend. Again, sure, the arms go forward and back. You can rotate at not the bicep area necessarily, but you can certainly rotate at the forearm, and there's also the bend in the elbow too. Hands rotate all the way around. You can hinge those back and forth. And even though, again, like his shirt runs pretty low down on his waist, you can still easily rotate the torso all the way around. Softer plastic really does help a lot for that. You can bring the legs out to about there. Not a full splits, but I mean, it sort of stops right here, obviously, right? But you can bring the legs out, you can bring them forward, and you can bring them back. There's a swivel at the top where that essentially is attached to the ball joint. Hinge on the lower leg. You can rotate the lower leg as well. And then when it comes to Danny's feet, there's an ankle pivot. I'm glad they still managed, despite for the fact that these are higher topped shoes, I'm glad there's still a means to hinge the joint back and forth. A little looser on this side, a little tighter on this side, but it seems he still has an ankle joint. Thank goodness for that. You bring the feet up and down this way as well, so still there's enough clearance working in your favor. And I guess technically as well, you can rotate the feet all the way around. Nice looking figure. I don't know whether necessarily NECA is going to plan to release this guy again. Sometimes exclusives see another light of day, whether they re-release it as with some additional accessories. I hope certainly that's going to be the case, because I think Danny's a nice enough figure that you would want to have in your collection. And if you missed your chance necessarily to get this guy the first time around with that Loot Crate box exclusive, I hope again, like NECA Toys, are able to re-release this guy. One last time we can bring in Splinter. And we can bring in again Casey Jones. I don't know if I would say necessarily Danny needed to be higher on the list than, say, Tatsu. I think, again, I probably would have released Tatsu before Danny. But as it certainly goes for an exclusive, first of all, it pushes then collectors to go and subscribe to Loot Crate. So that's beneficial to Loot Crate. But it also gives them the opportunity to release, say, an exclusive character that not everybody necessarily needs to have in their collection. But it certainly is nice to be able to include Danny. Eventually, when we have a look at April here on this channel as well, I would like to have Danny displayed with April O'Neil, and as well Casey Jones figures that NECA Toys have released as well. So if you guys were looking to get Danny Pennington for yourself, you could do one of two things. First of all, the main one, you would have had to have subscribed to Loot Crate for their TMNT 1990 movie boxes, and then you would have been able to get Danny Pennington that way. In fact, I just did an unboxing of that Loot Crate box if you guys wanted to check it out. But that's the way you could get Danny Pennington. And I guess short of that, you'd have to probably go on places like eBay after the fact of people then selling Danny. Now, the prices usually, when it comes to these exclusive NECA tie-in subscription box characters, prices usually tend to skyrocket. The best approach, I would say, recommending to you guys, if you are looking to get these exclusive figures, get on board the Loot Crates while they're available. If they're available on their website and they have those figures that you guys are looking to get, pay the price for that subscription box rather than paying the sometimes ludicrous prices of trying to pick up these figures after the fact. Again, I'm not as bothered if Danny Pennington was only ever going to be exclusive to Loot Crate, if it was, say, the likes of Tatsu or especially April O'Neil. I think those characters need to make retail releases where collectors can get them any way that they can, as opposed to having, yes, to subscribe to one subscription box in order to get it. Danny, I think, was a good character. First of all, for his size, because he's not going to be a big character to start off with. But second of all, I don't think as many people are going to be wanting to get a Danny as much as they would, say, again, wanting to get a Tatsu. Danny Pennington, again, if you guys are looking to pick up this one for yourself, initially Loot Crate, after the fact, unfortunately, places like eBay and stuff like that. What do you guys think, though, of Danny Pennington? Let me know down below, please, and thank you if you can. Also, let me know if you have picked up this figure for yourself. If you did have any paint problem issues with the bandana head sculpt. I'm guessing it probably is just mine. The machine that was painting the head sculpt was probably just misaligned that one day, and it resulted in, unfortunately, the eyes being slightly wandered off of the area where they should have been painted. Instead, his eyes sort of were slightly off that. That's not like a Shannon Doherty sort of thing. That was just like, paint was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's probably a better way to describe it. But yes, let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of the Loot Crate exclusive Danny Pennington. Do you agree with the model of the idea of having exclusive figures to a subscription box? That would certainly be a good question to pose to you, the viewing audience. Let me know down below in the comment section. If you are new to this channel and you're also enjoying the content you're seeing and you haven't yet done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you turn on the bell notification and come back if you can, because there's always going to be new NECA reviews coming your way in the not so distant future. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.